And interesting scenarios are playing out. 5 of the political parties have joined forces and are teaming up behind the PDP candidate, Honorable Pt.2, for the senatorial seat of Kogi East.
It is also worthy of note and emphasis that the candidate of the Labour Party, Honorable Ibrahim Gabriel Itodo, has withdrawn from the contest and thrown his weight behind the candidate of the PDP, Senator Atta Ali Aidoko.
I'm going to do more, but I'm going to create the opportunity so that people know what I am doing. That is what I will do differently.
The race gets a unique dimension this time around, not unusual with Kogi politics though, but in the end, the winner will have to justify the reasons for the votes they hope to get on Saturday. That's the situation in Kogi State, but let's get more insight into the rerun election. Let me quickly show you some of the other rerun elections as slated by INEC. Gombe and Adamawa has held theirs, but Kaduna, Pt.2, Niger, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Taraba, and Imo State will have theirs on the 23rd of February 2016. Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa State, we go to the polls on the 5th of March 2016, while Akwa Ibom, Cross River on the 12th of March 2016. Rivers will do theirs on the 19th of March 2016. Rivers will have almost all the parliamentary or legislative offices vied for on that day, the 19th March 2016. To a major issue of the day, this gets us talking. What is INEC planning for this exercise? Of course, loads and loads of litigation trailed the 2015 general election, bringing us to the highest number of nullified elections since 1999 in Nigeria. Of course, according to INEC chairman, over 80 of them as the last count. And so we take a look at the rerun elections, the lessons for INEC, and of course some other issues that we need to learn from, as we have from our Abuja studio, INEC Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Mr. Oluwole Osazi Uzi, joins us. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Tell us, a lot of people, we saw a low turnout in Adamawa State. Is the Commission doing enough publicity and voter education ahead of this rerun election that you have slated? About 80 of them in all.
Yes, thank you very much, Sean, for having me on the program this evening. Yes, we believe that the Commission is doing quite a bit of publicity, giving it a lot of publicity, and of course, voter information, voter education. But in one sense, I think the question has to be directed not just at INEC, but also stakeholders, more particularly to the political parties and their candidates. The issue is that is voter education the exclusive preserve of the Commission? No. It's a statutory responsibility, all right, but also other stakeholders have responsibilities towards ensuring that people come out to participate. But the figures we're seeing are not necessarily lower than averages. Because generally in by-elections, in elections that are run out of the general election cycle, the passion, the tendency is that you don't get as high a turnover as you ordinarily would if it was election of into several offices, because people vote for different reasons, people come up for different reasons. So that may be responsible for why it appears lower than you saw in, say, the general elections.
Maybe a few clarifications here first before we go more deeper into some of these cases. For example, in Kogi State, it's clearly stated that APC will not be participating, and a lot of people is causing some kind of controversies. Can you give us insight into reasons why some parties will not be participating, and especially in the case of Anambra State? There are a lot of controversies back and forth about who is the rightful owners of some of these parliamentary seats.
Yes, you brought two disparate questions, really. So let me first of all take the first one. Point of correction, it's not true that the APC will not be participating in elections in Kogi State. First of all, it's not just one election in Kogi State. We had several elections, and we published a list of the constituencies and senatorial districts where we're going to conduct the elections. In certain instances where the courts have pronounced that X party is prohibited from or stopped, or there's an injunction against that party participating, then definitely that party will not be on the ballot. Or where the party or its candidates have been disqualified, they've had a first bite of the cherry, and that being the case, then they are excluded by necessary implication, saying that you feel that a candidate that was not qualified, so you're stopped from coming back to get a second bite at the cherry. So we look at the court orders. What specifically they say? If they say specifically this is who should participate, who should not participate, then we'll go ahead with it. If it's a question of, if it's a question that X or Y party or its candidates have been declared incapable of conducting or participating in that election, then of course they are removed from the ballot. As to Anambra, in one sense, it's needless controversy because there are conflicting demands on us. One saying that there was no specific order. Those who are in situ, those who are in the National Assembly now say there is no specific order on INEC to declare, to withdraw, for us to withdraw their certificates of return. In one sense, they are right. But by necessary implication, the bottom of the case has been knocked off because the Supreme Court has said that they acted, the list was submitted, it's an invalid list, so we cannot rely on it. Conversely, I saw the earlier news conference by those demanding that we should give them certificates of return. Again, there is no specific order of the Supreme Court saying we should give them certificates of return. The Supreme Court did not pronounce on the legitimacy or otherwise of those people. It just says that, look, this other group acted in breach of a court order, so we ought not to have taken a list from them. Don't forget, we took the list based on the Court of Appeal decision, which has said that, which allowed us, as it were, because it was a list submitted by the national executive of the PDP in Anambra Central. Now, the interesting thing, and what they have not addressed, is the fact that one amongst those in that list had sought to join this case in the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, look, you cannot, we've said it times without number, you cannot take a list from a state executive when you have a conflicting list for a national executive. Take that of the national, don't take the state list. And because of that, they said Charles Odedo, who applied to join, who is amongst that other said, you cannot join because you have no interest. It's self-defeating. You have no interest in this subject matter because it's self-defeating. Your application is self-defeating. You cannot join when INEC cannot accept a list from you. So you have these two conflicting decisions. You don't look at one decision. You look at both decisions to come to a conclusion. And reading, our own reading of both decisions there seems to be some fogginess about it. We have to clarify from the Supreme Court. And it's not really it's more of an explanation. We want to be guided. We agree. Everybody will be bound by the Supreme Court decision. But let us be clear about the orders made by the Supreme Court. We don't want to make a mistake about it. And so that basically is the essence behind the application of the Commission to the Supreme Court.
We'll go on a short break. And when we return, Mr. Oluwole will be telling me more about the Anambra Central. And of course, we'll dwell more on the rerun elections and what we need to know this time. That's next. Join us again.